this is for?
This is for, we're in a class called Dimensions of Freedom at CCV, and this is going to maybe be used for Channel 17. Today I'm interviewing Hannah about the Dimensions of Freedom class trip we did out on the streets to talk to people about the upcoming election. Hannah, what were you out researching?
We were researching about voters in Vermont and who was planning on voting or not.
And what type of questions did you ask to these interviewers?
We asked if they were planning on voting or not, and if they were, if they've watched any of the debates, if so, what they felt like was most important to them, and if the candidates were talking about what was important.
And what type of results did you get?
We got a lot of results. We had 6 people we interviewed. 5 of them were definite yes, they were voting. 1 of them was uncertain. And most of them had all watched at least part of the debate, not all of it though. And for the majority, people did not feel like the candidates were talking about what they felt like was important to them. And the things that they found important to them were the economy and climate change were the top 2.
And what do you think was impacting these important topics to them?
I think that is impacting it mostly is we looked up to see what the average rent was in the United States and what the average rent was here in Vermont. And Vermont rent is definitely higher than the average of the United States. So that may be affecting why so many people were concerned about the economy. And also we found out that 70% of America now does believe in climate change. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kylie.
Heads up, the questions we're going to be asking you is if you're going to vote this year, if you've seen any of the presidential debates, if you think they're talking about important issues during the debates, and what you think is the most important issue.
Yes, I vote every year. I've watched all of them. I think they're trying. Okay. Some of them are trying. I guess personally, as someone who works a lot with poverty advocacy, I feel like the difficulty for poor and low-income families to sustain a livelihood in the U.S. at this present time is my greatest concern.
What is the issue you feel most important?
I think climate change is a big one. Immigration, and only because one particular candidate has made it an issue, and I think it needs to be talked about some more. I've been hearing or reading a lot that millennials do not vote at the same rate that older people do, and I find that very interesting. And I read about a couple of examples where that really swayed the election in Colombia with the peace treaty and the Brexit vote. And so I'm really trying to impress upon my kids, who are both in high school, how important it is for them to vote when they turn 18.
For me right now, the biggest issue that is on my mind is pretty simple. It feels like, I think like compassion and unity and equality for everybody, just across the board, internationally and domestically. That's really what I'm looking at with these candidates.
Are you going to be voting this year?
Maybe. I saw the sign at CCV about signing up, and so I was thinking about it. Most important issue to me would be definitely education and healthcare, for sure.
And what's the most important issue to you?
Well, I mean, there's so many, but I think sort of income inequality and poverty relief have got to be the 2 top on my list, slightly over sort of sustainability and climate change.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
My name is Hank Collins. We're here with a CCV Dimensions of Freedom class. Our task was to create a list of questions and go out and interview people about the 2016 presidential election this year. And the questions we had were, are you voting? If so, who for? Some important candidates, or some important qualities of a candidate, and is it your civic duty to vote or not? So Yusuf, would you like to answer the first one?
All right, so who was voting? We found a wide variety of answers for that question. Vermonters most likely knew who they were voting for, and they've been following the campaign itself. I was surprised that Trump came up a few times because it is Vermont. We're very were very Democratic, so that was surprising. There was a lot of people who said they wanted to write in Bernie Sanders and felt that as Vermonters they should, and they believed in his statement. So,
Great, thank you. And our next question was, if you are voting, who are you considering voting for this year? Alicia, would you like to answer that question?
I think also it was a mixture of answers. Some were for Hillary, others were for Trump. I think, as Yusuf said, that he thought that Vermont is kind of like democratic. I think people has different ideas and they have what they need for the next president. So people chose whoever they think or deserve to be the president for this year.
Great. And with the results, did we see a lot of either or was there a wide variety in the results when we asked who people are voting for?
I think most were Hillary, I would say, like 3 against 2 that were Trump. Okay. But, there's some concerns. Mostly the people that are going to vote for Trump is because they found something that they didn't like. Not like issues that were big, but just they are scared for something, and then they chose that Trump would be, because there's no another candidate at the moment. There's only 2. So I think they just went for Trump.
Great, thank you. And our next question was, what are some strong qualities of a positive candidate?
A lot of Vermonters believe that there's a need for change in Vermont this year, and so when they were choosing their candidates, they wanted Trump most of the time because they felt that he was not a political candidate and that he wouldn't be stringing words around and would get things changed. It was the same thing with Bernie Sanders, who was he wanted to implement free college in the United States and such. And also, Hillary Clinton was one of the candidates that was brought up a lot of the times because people felt she had a lot of good ideas.
Great. And our last question was, do you see it as your civic duty to vote? And in order to answer that question, you have to understand the difference between a civic duty and civic responsibility. And a civic duty is something that's filled out by the people in order to maintain a strong democratic society. Whereas a civic responsibility is something within that democratic society which we have a liberty to do if we feel necessary. So that in itself is kind of where we found a lot of the differences in opinions, because some people felt that it was a civic duty, more so a mandate by the U.S. to vote and participate in the election, whereas other people that we interviewed felt like it was more of a civic responsibility, but a personal decision not to vote. So, yeah.
Let's conclude our interview.
My name is Yusuf Abdi. I'm with CCV Dimensions class. What's your name?
Travis.
All right, Travis. Do you know who you're going to vote for in the political campaign?
I don't think I'm going to vote for anyone, actually. I was going to go libertarian, but I don't really like Johnson. I feel like the last true guy I really liked was Ron Paul, and I just don't feel like anyone really fits my political stances at all.
All right.
Yes, I am going to vote. I've voted since I turned 18, so yeah, a long time.
All right.
It was kind of a tough choice at first. I didn't really know who to vote for, but Donald Trump scares me. I think he's terrifying, and wouldn't it be nice to have the first female president? I think that would be awesome. And the more I've gotten to know about her, the more I've read about her, the more I think she's not really what is portrayed in the media, and I feel good about it now.
I am. I'm actually writing in the man across the street right there. Bernie's office.
All right, you're going to write in for Bernie?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah.
All right, and what do you think are some good qualities of a presidential candidate?
For Bernie?
Yeah.
I mean, he represents the people. That's kind of the big thing that we don't really have going for us, I believe, with the other 2 main candidates.
And
you got Hillary or Trump, either way you're screwed.
Or a businessman who sexually harasses females.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if I should, because both the candidates are idiots. No offense. Like, I thought Hillary was going to be all right because she had, Bill Clinton in her corner. But then she's lying. You can't trust her. I don't know if she's saying something that's true. And I have a daughter. We have a 7-month-old daughter. And then you got Trump, who's sending this message to females, and I have a daughter. Like, Oh my God.
All right.
Basically, like I said, Trump, he has an attitude, and he's not like with it how Hillary is. And I understand both of them had bad and good things about him, but I think Hillary has more good things than Trump.
We're out here interviewing people about the election this year and their political opinions. So could I get your name, please?
Sure, Ryan Emerson.
Ryan, okay. Yep. So are you going to vote this year?
I am going to vote this year.
You are?
Yes.
And do you mind telling us who you're going to vote for?
For president, for governor,
for president,
for president of the United States. I already voted last week for Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Okay.
Donald Trump.
You're voting for Donald Trump?
Yep. He's a businessman. He's going to fix the economy. He's going to lock up Hillary.
I think I'm going to have to vote for Hillary. I'm going to have to cancel his vote out. He's going to cancel my vote out. I don't know which one.
All right.
We call her Hillary. We don't call her Hillary.
What was that again?
We call her Hillary.
Hillary.
The body count.
All right. And care to share why you're going to vote for Hillary?
I think she has some experience. She'll be, the Senate, the House, they'll be watchdogs, so she doesn't get too out of hand with anything. I just think she's a safer choice.
And would you like to share your opinion by any chance?
Well, what is it?
It's about the presidential campaign.
Oh yeah, I could share some of my opinion. I'm a Trump man all the way.
Right on. Trump?
I love Trump. I think it's time we start worrying about these small businesses and get things rolling. And Hillary just doesn't have what it takes to get that going. She's got the same old stuff that just hasn't been working for years, and they think everything's going good, but they haven't been living in my shoes. And if Trump is out there in the business world doing stuff, and yeah, maybe he's got a lot of money, and yeah, maybe he's chased a few girls, but I'll tell you what, he loves America, and he's on the move to do something good for the country and do something different and get away from all the same old stuff and all that corruption that's going on. And nobody can deny that there's some serious corruption going on out there. That's what I got to say about it.
All right.
Some of them things that we're talking about are issues of his character. Now, I've been in the ministry for a long time now, and ministering the gospel. And I would rather have somebody that's straightforward and telling you like it is than someone who's lying right through their teeth and not telling you the truth.
All right.
All right, man.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys very much.
Good afternoon. I'm Radhika Dahal from CCV. 2 weeks ago, we took to the street to ask Vermonters who they are voting for and why. Today, we are here to show you the result from that day. What information did you find that day?
So from the few people that we did get in touch with on the streets, we found that Hillary seemed to be the most popular that everyone wanted to vote for.
Okay, why Hillary?
From what we gathered, it seemed like nobody really felt like there was a good choice, unfortunately, so she was kind of found as the lesser of two evils. But a lot of people did say things like they didn't like Trump, so they felt like Hillary was just the better choice of the two. I think only one or two people actually said they agreed with her.
Okay. Great. What about the people who were voting for Trump? Did they say why?
Yeah, a few people that were actually voting for Trump said the only thing that made them want to vote for him was that he was going to make America great again. Mm-hmm. So I don't really think they had any legitimate reasons to vote for him other than just following the little slogans that he has for himself in his campaign.
Great. Thank you.
Are you planning on voting?
No.
Why?
Just because I don't pay attention to this kind of stuff.
Are you voting this year?
Not for Hillary or Donald.
Why?
I really feel that this time we have no choice.
No, I'm not, but I would like Donald Trump.
Why?
Because I believe this country needs to change.
I'm voting for Hillary Clinton because Donald Trump is the devil reincarnated.
So are you voting this year?
I am voting.
Who are you voting for and why?
I am going to vote for Hillary Clinton. I believe that she is the right candidate in this election. Our values are aligned, and I'm terrified of the alternative.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for sharing your opinion today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.